Welcome to our Momentum Monitor series, where we'll help you spot investment opportunities early as they develop and hopefully help you invest more successfully. What we do each month is we look at what investment sectors have the best and developing momentum and create a new investment portfolio to match from funds easily investable in the UK. We follow each portfolio for 6 months to see how they perform against the MSCI World Benchmark. If you're new to our blog, you might be interested to read the original theory piece we wrote. The link is below. So what about now? Well, in this month's edition, the mood music in markets that we jumped on last month has been borne out, and we continue to see momentum move away from the US and more to EU, Asia, and emerging markets broadly. But the Nasdaq, notwithstanding all that, continues its steady trend. So what's been going on this month? Which markets have performed? Well, I want to point out three best performers here. Number one being China, which fits beautifully into our momentum theme from the previous month. Secondly, we have Brazil, which is up 6%. And thirdly, the US. So is the story for the US over? Has the American market finished, its strong growth for now? Is it going to take a step back? Well, there are plenty of articles like this around. You can see the headlines here. But I think there's a much broader picture which is positive. So there's a huge amount of inflows which have come into ETFs in the US. Interest rates are falling in the US. And very importantly, the street seems to think that maybe interest rates are going to fall faster than the Fed is suggesting, all of which gives us a very positive outlook for stocks. We can see also in the way that investors and companies are acting. So the volumes of IPOs is very strong, and not just here in the US, but it's coming up in Europe and in Asia as well. So all of that says to us that there's a very positive backdrop for those main markets which really give momentum to global markets as a whole. Now, we said last month we think the momentum in the US is starting to weaken a bit. We've had a very strong value year and valuations are high. In absolute terms, America is expensive, and in relative terms compared to EU and emerging markets. So where's momentum going to go to? Well, there continues to be one standout asset, which is gold. Gold's up tremendously this year, and if we look at the BlackRock Gold and General Fund, it's just been up 20% this month, continuing its very strong run for the whole 12 months. Now, what's happening is that interest in gold that's moved up the gold price is not just in the gold price, it's also in miners, and not just the big miners, it's spreading into the small gold miners as well. So we expect that trend to continue, and gold's going to keep going up. Markets are very bullish about it. Central banks have been making a big shift to use gold as a reserve currency. Gold is now a bigger part of central bank reserves than the euro. And institutions are now beginning to follow as well. So, wow, perhaps even more momentum. Next recurring theme is technology, which is a big contributor to our leading portfolio from June. China and China tech continuing to improve momentum as well. Chinese AI stocks are starting to follow that US boom with a bit of a lag. And China as a whole is benefiting from more consumer demand and recent government stimulus. Emerging markets have been steady, if not top 4 performers this year, but now they're taking the lead. So what's in our portfolio that we've selected at the start of October? Firstly, gold and gold miners, so BlackRock Gold in general, to try and capture that continuing trend. Technology, second, so we're going to use the Polar Capital Global Technology Trust, which is highly successful. Some global emerging markets, so the Franklin Templeton Fund. And finally, we want to capture in particular that China story and get some exposure to China technology, so the Jupiter China Fund. I hope I've managed to pique your interest with this. If I have, click through to the article down at the bottom. You'll be able to see the last half dozen portfolios in detail, and you'll also find our previous blogs. What you'll also be able to do is click through to those Wall Street Journal articles if you are interested. See you next month.